Hi everybody, thank you for watching. So today's video is going to be a pretty exciting one because I am doing a makeup tutorial. I have not done a makeup tutorial on YouTube, like a full-on makeup tutorial, since like I want to say November of last year. So this is new and different for me and I'm excited, but I'm a little bit nervous at the same time. Basically the reason why I stopped doing makeup tutorials on YouTube is because I just didn't feel comfortable doing it. I'm not a makeup artist and I don't have the strongest makeup game out there, and I know that, but it was always kind of hard to just film them and feel like I was having to teach makeup when I didn't really feel like I was in that position yet, and I just would be uncomfortable with them. And I tried doing voiceovers because I thought maybe voiceovers would be easier, and I actually hated the voiceovers even more. They felt so uncomfortable to me and it just didn't feel right. And I felt like really the only reason I was doing makeup tutorials is because I felt like I had to. If you have a beauty channel, you have to make makeup tutorials, right? And I was like, you know what? I don't believe that. So that is why I kind of stopped doing the tutorials. I moved into mostly just, you know, talking about makeup videos, reviewing makeup and that sort of thing. But of course, I'm always practicing makeup and watching videos and trying to learn new tutorials and techniques. And I thought, you know what? I think I feel good enough now and comfortable enough now that I can go ahead and make a YouTube tutorial. I'm really excited to be doing these again, but also a lot of it too is not only feeling more comfortable with myself, but I get requests for makeup tutorials all of the time, and I'm always like, hey, I do them on Instagram, and I do a lot of makeup tutorials over on Instagram. It's so much more comfortable for me, they're so much quicker, and all of that stuff. But I do get a lot of comments asking for makeup tutorials, and I thought, you know what, I feel comfortable enough now to be doing them, and that is why I'm excited to bring you this first makeup tutorial. I hope to do one maybe every week or every other week, depending on what you guys want to see and my schedule, of course, but I do want to start getting back into doing them now that I feel more confident about them. And I also thought it would be really fun to kick back off my makeup tutorials here on YouTube using the new Jaclyn Hill and Morphe palette. Oh man, there's been so much excitement over this palette, and I've been having so much fun myself watching all of the makeup tutorials that are coming out, and so I thought, what better palette to like have the kickoff to my makeup tutorial series once again. So that is what we used on my eyes today. I love the way this look came out. I love the way the whole look came out, minus, you know, my hair. We have a hair appointment next week, so nobody panic. Hair appointment is coming, but I thought this could be a really fun one to kick off the series with. I'm very excited to be doing another makeup tutorial, and if you would like to see how I got this look using the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe palette, please keep watching. So the first shade that I'm going to pick up is Buns, which is in the third row right here. I'm going to use my Sigma E25. I mentioned in my review video that I just love this shade and I reach for it so much whenever I am in this palette. It was funny because Jaclyn mentioned that she didn't want it in the palette and that Linda Morphe like overrode her and said that what had to be in, and I'm like, I love this shade, man. I do have my eye primed, and then also I have just like a base shade down to set the eye primer, and I'm just gonna start working this into the crease and kind of moving my brush back in like the windshield wiper motions, making sure. And then like when I get to the outer part of my eye, I kind of just go in circles to make sure it has a blended look out here. So next I'm going to grab a brush that came in the like Copper Dreams, I think it was called, brush set from Morphe. So it doesn't have like an actual name on it, but I'm obsessed with these brushes. I reach for them all of the time. And then I'm going to grab the shade next to Buns. It is called Roxanne. A really nice like reddish brown shade, like more red than brown, but I just, again, it's this shade that I've reached for several times on this palette. I love these reds in here. I think they came out so well. And I'm first going to place the shadow down on the outer part of my eye and just doing these small circles because I want the most amount of pigment, the most amount of eyeshadow to go on the outer part of my eye. And then once I have deposited most of that down, then I will start with the windshield wiper motions, going back and forth, focusing out here on the outer V, running my brush in circles, just basically repeating the same step as before. I just want to make sure most of that color is coming on the outer part of my eye. The thing I like to do like towards the end of one of the processes is I'll just kind of like start flicking my brush out, and then I'll also turn around and I will flick the shadow in, because you don't have a ton on your brush, so it's not like you're getting the shades everywhere, but I feel like it kind of helps me have a more blended look. So I'm gonna grab another brush from that same collection. This one has more of like a tulip shape to it, and I'm going to grab this shade right here. It is called Hunts. It's a really cool like orangey rust color. It's again like one of my favorites. I feel like I say that for a lot of these shades, but I really have been like beating this palette. I have been enjoying it so much. So I'm just gonna put a small amount on my brush. I mean, you can see that it's very pigmented, so I'm gonna make sure I tap it off pretty good. And then what I'm gonna do is just tap that shade first in the outer V. Just tap it, make sure we're getting most of the product onto the outer part of the eye. And then I will slowly start with the circles. And then I'm gonna, again, take my brush and just kind of start like flicking it out and flicking it in. This one I don't really want to bring all the way in. I want the orange mostly focused on the outer part of the eye as well. So I'm just going to focus on doing these small circles and then flicking in and flicking out. My terminology is fantastic, I know, so prepare to be impressed. And I'm just gonna do this until I feel like everything is pretty well blended. So, I mean, with these eyeshadow looks where you're really focusing on a lot of colors and blending a lot of colors together, I mean, you know, schedule some time. Just make sure that you carve enough time out of your schedule to blend your eyeshadows. Now I'm going in with Queen, and this shade is just a boss. Like I mean, Queen is a great name for this shade. It is crazy. I'm not using Fix Plus because this shade simply doesn't need it. It's a true gold glitter, and it is, I mean, so I have some on my brush, no Fix Plus, and just like, are you kidding me? It is insane, you guys. It is absolutely insane. So I'm just going to be packing this onto the lid, and I'm using a Morphe G20 brush, and I like this brush because it is so, I don't know how I would describe it, but it's like really good for getting into the crease, because I don't want to bring the glitter too high. So I feel like this brush really lets you place the product exactly where you want the product to go. This gold is just absolutely insane. I'm going to take the first brush that I used, the Sigma brush, and just kind of lightly blend back and forth. I don't want to go too crazy here because I don't want to get the gold too high up, and I don't want to get the red and oranges, like I don't want them to disturb the gold too much. So I'm just lightly going to make sure that we don't have harsh lines or anything like that, and everything is blended together. Again, I'm not using any additional eyeshadow. I'm just going to do a light blend here. Off camera I did just a pretty small wing for me using the DHC Liquid Liner, and then I applied my Pur lashes in Jetsetter. I like them because they're pretty like piecey. I didn't want to do lashes that were too big or full or voluminous and really hide the eyeshadows, because I love these shadows so much, but I love wearing lashes, so these were kind of like the best lashes for me. So I'm going to go in and do my face now. So I'm going to start with my primer. I'm using the number 7 Airbrush Away primer, which I absolutely love. I'm typically someone that always does my eyes before face, unless I'm just doing a very like simple basic look. And yes, because you know, if shadows have fallout, or you know, if you're using glitter or you know, things like that, that way your face makeup isn't already done. But for me, when I apply like my eyeliner, I typically have my hands like on my face, and I don't like having foundation on. And then also for my lashes, you know, sometimes I'm touching like the sides of my face, so I just always prefer to do eyes before face. I'm gonna come in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Stick Foundation. I'm in the shade Natural. This was one that I didn't necessarily love when I first got it. Like, I thought it was okay, but I've been finding myself reaching for it more and more lately. And I think it's because it's definitely like a light to medium coverage. Like, it doesn't feel really heavy on the skin. I feel like it still does a decent job covering. So I don't know, even though I'm not a huge fan of light to medium coverage, I'm usually like medium to full. I've just been finding myself reaching for this more, and you know, it might also be because it's summer months and you know, it's so hot outside sometimes that having a full face of, you know, heavy foundation cannot be super fun. So could be another reason why I've been reaching for it, but I really have been lately. I just like how it makes my face look too. Like, I like the finish of it. So I'm using my Morphe Flawless sponge to blend this in, one of my current favorite beauty sponges. My concealer, I'm going to use the number 7 Radiant Glow Concealer. I'm in the shade 10, and I love this guy as well. I believe it's been mentioned in a favorites video. I am just loving the number 7 brand. Like, right now, they can do no wrong for me. Their skincare, their makeup products, like everything has been just making me so impressed. They're a new brand to me, but I mentioned them in my 7 brands I think you should try in 2017 video. Not like a full coverage concealer by any means. I mean, you can probably tell just on my skin that, you know, it's a little bit of a sheer coverage, but it really does make your under eyes look radiant and like have a glow to them, which I never knew I really wanted in a concealer until I started trying this one. But it's like good enough coverage if there's days where you really, you know, you don't need that full coverage concealer. You can get away with this one, but I just love the finish to it so much. And then I haven't been baking a lot lately because I've been dealing with like drier under eyes. So I'm just gonna use my Wet n Wild contouring powder or contouring palette and use the setting shade side. The contour palette is in Dulce de Leche, and then I'm just using a Real Techniques Deluxe concealer brush. And I'm just going to place this on my under eyes to help set the concealer. I'm just going to do a little bit of contouring with the Physicians Formula Bronze Booster. I'm going to use the middle shade, a nice kind of more like grayish contour shade, and I'm going to use my Sigma F06. This is such a good little brush for contouring. So I'm not going to do a whole lot, just a little bit of shadow underneath my cheekbones. What I do when I'm contouring is I'll just kind of make, you know, one of those faces and you can see your cheekbone kind of protrude out, and then I just take my brush right underneath that. I'm so excited to be using the Becca Cosmetics and Chrissy Teigen face palette. Oh, I had a subscriber friend send it to me and I was like, no way, because it is so beautiful. Like, oh my gosh. So beautiful, so much fun. I'm going to take my Sigma large powder brush, the F30, and I'm going to tap it into the bronzer shade and then just work on bronzing up my face. I have tried this before and holy crap, like these are so pigmented. Like I went in way too hard with my blush, so I'm trying to keep that in mind this time around to maybe not go in quite as fiercely. First eye looks I did with the Jaclyn Hill palette was using all like the greens and blues. It is on Instagram right now, which I'm March Beauty Word. I do so many tutorials over there because I'm just like much more comfortable filming them and feeling like I'm not having to talk through everything and like teach things, because I'm not necessarily good at teaching makeup yet. You know, I'm always still learning. So I'm going to pop off camera real quick and do my brows, and then we will be back to finish off the eyes and the face. Brows are done. I'm going to finish off my eyes. I'm going to use my Tarte Double Take Liner. I'm going to use the gel liner side and apply this into my waterline. Then for my lower lash line, I'm first going to apply some buns and then add a little bit of hunts. I'm using the Morphe E36 brush. I'm going to grab the Morphe E18. It's a little bit bigger of a pencil brush. I'm going to come in with the second shade right here, which is called Beam. I still need to find, I know I have double-sided tape. I'm going to tape the shade names to the top of the palette. I just need to find my tape because I hate not knowing what the shade names are. But I'm going to use this to highlight the brow bone. I'm also going to use that same shade and put it in my inner corner also using the same brush. Then to finish off the face, I'm going to go back into the Becca and Chrissy palette. I'm going to use the blush and my Morphe E4. And I'm going to try to apply this very lightly because when I used it the first time, I got way out of hand. And then I'm going to come into this highlight shade and I'm going to use a Luxie 522 tapered highlight brush and apply this to my cheekbones. That is so pretty. And I'm also going to apply just very lightly down the center of my nose, tip of my nose, and my Cupid's bow. Nothing crazy here though. For my lip color, I just picked up a Makeup Forever Artist Liquid Matte Lip Shade. I just got my package in from Sephora yesterday, so I really want to try this. I got the shade 103. So that is what it looks like. I believe, did I put these in my wish list video? Because I'm pretty sure that I did. And I was really excited to get them. And then when I was buying a couple things for my 20K giveaway, which is coming very soon, stay tuned, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get one of these lippies. So let's see how this works. Ooh, it feels nice. Okay, so it was pretty thick. I don't want to say it was moussey, but it's pretty thick, but very opaque as well. So there is the Makeup Forever in shade 103. It's kind of almost like a peachy beige nude. I really like that shade. I had no idea what shade to get because like 6 choices and they were all in the nude range. I was like, which one do I do? So I went with 103 and I really like it. It feels comfortable so far. I'm really excited to finally have one of these. Okay, so now I'm just going to set everything with a bit of MAC Fix Plus and then this makeup look is complete. Alright guys, so that's going to be everything for this makeup tutorial. I sincerely hope that you enjoyed this video or found it helpful and useful in some way. Please leave me some comments down below because you know how nervous I was to come back with a makeup tutorial, but I really did have a lot of fun filming it and I really do absolutely love the way that this look came out. So leave me some comments down below. Let me know what you thought of it. Let me know what you would want to see in my next tutorial, either palettes you want me to use or just a specific makeup look. Let me know that in the comments down below. If you guys have not yet subscribed to my channel, I really hope that you will consider subscribing. My 20K giveaway, like I mentioned in the tutorial, is coming, which I am super excited for, so you want to make sure that you're subscribed so you get notified for when that video goes live. But if you guys did enjoy this makeup tutorial and you would want to see more of them from me, I hope that you will give this video a thumbs up. Also, make sure you subscribe before you go, and I'll catch you guys real soon in my next one. Bye!